things are being said at various junctures, submit to your lordship that you may kindly consider to look at the case as set up by the appellant before this honorable court, because even this morning it opened up with something which was startling and beyond the pleadings. So while I accept that this court under Article 185 read with one Article 887 does not act beyond limits of jurisdiction, but it has got more leeway than many other courts. But let's look at the pleadings. My lord, CA 333, paragraph 3. Sorry, paragraph 4, my apologies. Paragraph 4, page 6 of the appeal.
After?
That the
appeal suit.
Paragraph 4, page 6, Civil Appeal 333 of 2024. That the petitioner, page 6, paragraph 4, Civil Appeal 333. That the petitioner number 1 did not contest the general election of 2024 on its election symbol, and its electoral candidates contested the said general election as independent candidates. The petitioner number 1, my lord, is the Sunni Ittihad Council. It is precisely because of the reason that the petitioner number 1 did not contest the election under its election symbol that it did not submit any party list for reserve seats under Section 104 Election Act 2017. This is their case, my lord. My lord, if your lordship may graciously turn the page, they refer to the seats. And if your lordship may then take a look at page 10, ground A. My lord, this is about 9 lines from the top. The central constitutional basis of the right to reserved seats under the proportional representation system is total number of general seats secured by each political party from the province concerned in the National Assembly, or total number of general seats secured by each political party in the Provincial Assembly. In other words, the fact whether the political party which now has general seats in the assembly had fought the election or not is not a constitutional requirement for the election of reserved seats under proportional representation system. If your lordship may see the last line. Secondly, there is nothing in Article 51(6) paragraphs D and E of the Constitution which requires that the political party which has general seats in the National Assembly due to independent returns candidates joining it should have necessarily contested the elections and also won some seat. If your lordship may skip 3 lines. Thirdly, the other requirement that is selected in accordance with law as well as the submission of list of candidates as mentioned in the aforementioned Article 51 and Article 106 have to be read in harmony with the aforementioned 2 principles and cannot override the aforementioned principles. Fourthly, there is nothing in the aforementioned Article 51 as well as Article 106 which requires the list of candidates for reserved seats to be submitted before any general election. Ground B, my lord, if your lordship may see the 4th line from the foot of the page. In other words, the requirement to submit lists for reserved seats prior to the general election only applies to political parties who contest such election and not to political parties who become parliamentary parties, political parties in the National Assembly as well as Provincial Assembly as a result of the joining of independent returned candidates. Such political parties can only rationally and practically submit their candidate list for reserved seats after the joining of such independent returned candidates post the general election. Second, Section 104 Election Act 2017 and Rule 92 and 94 of the election rules could not apply logically as well as practically to parliamentary political parties who acquire general seats in the National Assembly as well as provincial assemblies as a result of the independent returned candidates joining the petitioner number 1 in the post-general election period. It is obvious that aforementioned section 104 and rules 92 and 94 are legally silent and do not apply to such cases as the petition number 1, in which the acquiring of the general seats of the assembly takes place after the election, general election, through independent returned candidates joining them. Thirdly, it is obvious and apparent from Article 51 as well as Article 106 that it specifies no time period as to when the list of candidates is to be submitted, whether prior or to or post the general election, and therefore the aforementioned sections 104 and Rule 92 and Rule 94 cannot override the constitutional provisions of Article 51 and Article 106. Therefore, the impugned judgment is erroneous and liable to be set aside. If your Lordship may graciously turn the page, ground D, 9th line from the foot of the page. In other words, the fact whether the political party which now has general seats in the National Assembly had fought the election or not is not a constitutional requirement for the allocation of reserved seats under proportional representation. If your Lordship may graciously turn the page, page 14, ground E. This, my Lord, last 7 lines. There is nothing in Article 51(6)(d) of the Constitution which requires that the political party which has general seats in the National Assembly, due to independent returned candidates joining it, should have necessarily contested the election and also won some seats. Contrary to this, the proviso to Article 51(6)(d) of the Constitution legally converts the independent returned candidates as seats won by even a party which may not have contested the general election. My Lord, if your Lordship may turn to page 16, graciously. Last 5 lines on the first paragraph on this page, and that's the last part I would be reading. Secondly, it is obvious and apparent from Articles 51 as well as Article 106 of the Constitution that it specifies no time period as to when the list of candidates is to be submitted, that is whether prior to or post the general election. Therefore, para 3 of the impugned judgment is erroneous. My Lord, this is the case which they have set up. It is not their case as set up in the pleadings that they, due to any extraneous pressure, were not able to contest the elections as SIC. They say they did not. They did not submit a list of reserved seats. What is my case? My case is that when your Lordship looks at Article 51 of the Constitution, it requires the main provision. It requires that members to the reserved seats, I skip the words women, my Lord, because it will be minorities under 106, shall be elected in accordance with law. That's the first requirement. Elected.
What does elected mean here? I mean, elsewhere, when this word elected or cognate expressions are used, they are used in the sense of an electorate, polling day, election, if contested, counting of votes, result announced, etc. We all know that, right? And here, the election in accordance with law, which is the Elections Act, is there's no election at all in the you might say the settled or normal sense of the word. Now, I'm not denying or challenging what is being done. But it seems to me that if what is being done is constitutional, which everyone appears to think it is, in terms of how the proportionality is worked and so on, then the word elected as used over here is used in a somewhat different meaning from how it is used elsewhere in the Constitution. What would you say to that?
My Lord, may I, with your Lordship's leave, submit my understanding of it? Over here...
See, sorry, just to emphasize the point, अगर आप Article 226 देखें, kindly Article 226 निकालें. इसको काइंडली पढ़िए.
All elections under the Constitution, other than those of the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister, shall be by secret ballot.
So if election as used in paragraph D has the same sense as used elsewhere, what is happening under this law is totally unconstitutional, prima facie. But I'm saying, and I'm repeating, I don't say that, and everyone else seems to agree that that is not so. So therefore, the interpretation, the proper interpretation of the word elected over here is perhaps different from how this word or cognate expressions are used elsewhere in the Constitution.
My Lord.
And therefore, does that not also lead to a possible interpretation that the word political party, as used in paragraph D, may be used, and certainly in the context of unusual situations or circumstances, of which perhaps what we are facing today is one, in a sense that may not be the same sense as it is used elsewhere? What would you say to that?
My Lord, my submission is that the way I understand election as used in clause D is that the election in accordance with law and the way then the Election Act goes about it is that the party is, when the country is called to the general elections, also required to submit a list of reserved seats. It is also required to then assign a priority to it, which priority cannot be changed till the list is
elected.
Is exhausted.
They're not. I mean, the simple answer to that could be, well, what about Article 226, secret ballot? I mean, in a vanilla election, no dispute, no nothing. Party A gets 10, Party B gets 5, Party C gets 3. Someone could file a petition saying all unconstitutional. Why? Read Article 226. Every election has to be by secret ballot. Where's the ballot? There's not even a ballot. Forget secret. Someone could say that. My response, speaking for myself, would be, sorry sir, you are wrong, because the word elected over here is perhaps used in a different sense. And I'm linking that, the reason I'm saying it is because I'm linking that to the use of the word political party over here. And therefore, if we know the general rule, right? Word or expression used different places, prima facie, the assumption is same meaning. Here, quite obviously not the same meaning. Well, if one word, not the same meaning, why not another word?
My Lord, the submission respectfully is, on my understanding of the provision, that election over here means that the list which is set by the parties, as I said, where the candidates are there, who file their nomination papers, whose nomination papers are scrutinized, and a priority is determined. This list, in terms of law, goes to general election. When general elections are contested, a person voting for party A knows that there is a list of notified candidates on the reserved list, and a consequence of my vote will be that some of these, not all of these, in terms of priority, may get elected. So the electorate has a say in it. If they vote for a political party and that political party wins 10 seats, the consequence may be that they may get other seats.
Coming to what my learned colleague Sayyid Mansoor Ali Shah Sahab asked, then therefore, for this election, it is that will of the people, the representativeness, that is of crucial importance, that must be protected, preserved and defended, both by the Election Commission and by us.
Yes.
Because you see, we take the oath of office that we will protect the Constitution, preserve, defend and I won't say blah blah blah, God forbid that, but you get the point. But where does this Constitution come from? The Constitution tells us where it comes from. Where does it come from?
The preamble, it comes from the people. Sovereignty belongs
to the people. We the people.
Yes.
So when we are talking of the Constitution, when we take an oath of office to preserve, protect and defend the Constitution, what we are saying is we will preserve, protect and defend the will of the people. Because this thing, which yes, a certain gentleman said, "Ye kya cheez hai? Kagaz ka tukda hai, main phaad ke phenk दूं." Wrong. With all due respect to the gentleman, But our oath of office leads back to the people. आपकी अपनी formulation पे election, as used and understood in paragraph, leads back to the people, and that, if you is correct, then the representativeness, as my learned colleagues have been emphasizing during the morning session, that is of critical, crucial importance.
My Lord, may I submit? Yes, nobody will say that the people are to be excluded from the process. My submission is that this list very much goes to the people. The people vote.
Indirectly.
Vote. Indirectly, yes. But the list, as your Lordship knows, is notified. The priority is determined. So when a person casts a vote in the general election, that person knows that the direct consequence may be that X may get elected on the general seat, and the indirect consequence may be that if others acting like him in other constituencies act in the same manner, then there will people on the reserved list may get elected. Now,
यहाँ पे सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि क्या ये जो रिजर्व सीट की लिस्ट दी जाती है ये विल ऑफ द पीपल के मुताबिक होती है या पीपल अपना इख्तियार पार्टी के कैंडिडेट्स को देते हैं कि आपका जो जी चाहे वो कर ले? नंबर 1। नंबर 2 ये कि सुबह से बात हो रही है कि क्या हम खाली छोड़ सकते हैं या नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं? क्या ये पार्टीज जो है इस केस में, स्पेशल सीट के इशू में, उनकी पोजीशन सेकेंडरी नहीं हो जाती? दिस इज अ रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ वुमेन। हम कैसे वुमेन को रिप्रेजेंटेशन को हम खाली छोड़ दें, उनको रिप्रेजेंटेशन ना दें? क्या ये ऐसा नहीं है कि पार्टीज जो है उनकी नंबर जस्ट फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन उनको नंबर दिए, सेकेंडरी पोजीशन उनकी आती, मेन पोजीशन माइनॉरिटीज एंड वुमेन उनको रिप्रेजेंटेशन देनी है? तो ये दो बातें हैं कि क्या ये विल ऑफ द पीपल है? विल ऑफ द पीपल तो डायरेक्ट इलेक्शन में होता है, मैं फलां कैंडिडेट या फलां पार्टी को देता हूँ, उसके बाद ये लिस्ट आती है, लिस्ट डिस्कस नहीं होता, न पब्लिक के सामने पेश किया जाता है। लिस्ट तो 4 आदमी बैठते हैं आपस में, उस पर नहीं जाएंगे कि कौन कौन उस पर आते हैं। कोई क्राइटेरिया नहीं है कि किसको पुराने वर्कर को दिया जाए, नए वर्कर के घर के बंदों को दिया जाए या बाहर के लोगों को दिया जाए।
May I, with your Lordship's leave, complete my answer to the first question and then immediately attend to it. I don't intend to walk away from it in any manner. So, my Lord, your Lordship is absolutely right. The list is put to the people and the people vote, and as I was submitting, they know that an indirect consequence may be that certain people will get elected. That is what I understand from the word elected in Article 51, because every word has to be given a meaning in the context of the Constitution.
But you will perhaps agree that even in the way you have formulated it, in a sense, in the very formulation, this is giving the word election a meaning different from that otherwise understood.
My Lord,
in the Constitution, I mean,
yes, in terms of 226,
that's just one example.
Yes,
otherwise, देखना ना, प्रेसिडेंट का भी इलेक्शन होता है
जी सर,
उसका भी एक अपना इलेक्टोरेट है,
जी
वो पूरा अपना शेड्यूल दिया हुआ है, इलेक्शन होता है, अगर एक से ज्यादा कैंडिडेट हो कंटेस्ट होता है, वगैरह वगैरह, which is जो एक जनरल इलेक्शन में, if you look at it at a high level of generality, वही चीज़ें हो रही हैं प्रेसिडेंट के इलेक्शन में जो उधर हो रही हैं। इसी तरह सेनेट इलेक्शन में वो भी, उनकी भी अब अपनी इलेक्टोरेट है, अपना वो सब कुछ है, चीज़ें वही हो रही हैं। आई मीन एट अ हायर लेवल ऑफ जनरलिटी चीज़ें वही, एवरीवन कैन से ये इलेक्शन हो रहा है। यहाँ पे एट फर्स्ट साइट, सो वी हैव टू इंटरप्रेट, एट फर्स्ट साइट कोई इलेक्शन हो ही नहीं रहा। आप कह रहे हैं कि नहीं जी हो रहा है, लेकिन इस तरीके से जो आपकी फॉर्मुलेशन है, मैं सिर्फ ये समझना चाह रहा हूँ, जो क्योंकि विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट आपकी फॉर्मुलेशन से मुझे ये लग रहा है कि जी हियर द वर्ड इज बीइंग यूज्ड इन अ स्लाइटली डिफरेंट सेंस, एंड इफ वन वर्ड इन अ स्लाइटली डिफरेंट सेंस for purposes of paragraph D and no other purpose, then why not political party? Why not other words as used here?
It brings in, it says shall be elected in accordance with law. Now that is the election I submit takes place because the list goes to the people.
Accordance with the law does not mean section 104.
Lord, it means section 104 and it means read with section 62.
There is no election.
My Lord, the submission is that
आप मुझे इलेक्शन दिखा दें, चलें
इलेक्शंस,
आप पार्ट ये जो क्लॉज डी और ई है, पैराग्राफ डी और ई, आप इसे मुझे दिखा दें कोई इलेक्शन हो रहा हो।
Sir, my submission for whatever it is worth is that this list goes
as
to the
ordinarily understood.
Yes, but this list, the Constitution generally.
अब देखिए, अगर हम इस बातों में हम फंस जाएंगे ना, तो आपके हम सबमिशंस तो कभी सुन नहीं पाएंगे। बहुत से लोगों को सुनना है आज, ठीक है, और आज ही इसको कंक्लूड भी करना है। सो बुरा ना मानिए, अब आपको मुझे बार बार इट्स माई पेनफुल ड्यूटी टू रिमाइंड एवरीबॉडी विथ नो डिसरिस्पेक्ट टू एनीवन। तो इलेक्शन कब होता है? जब अनअपोज कैंडिडेट आ जाता है, होता है इलेक्शन, बट इट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी एन इलेक्शन। अनअपोज भी तो आ जाता है ना, किसने उसको चुना? किसी ने नहीं चुना उसको। तो आगे बढ़े ना, अपना करें कि आगे दूसरों को भी हम सुनने जरा जल्दी से।
Yes, my lord. May I proceed further? Election in accordance with law. Now, how is that taking place?
उसने आईन ने एक तरीक़ेकार तय्युन कर लिया।
वो तरीक़ाकार क्या है?
आईन बनाया, वो जाने ये काम।
Through proportional representation system. That's the system which is in place. That's how this election is to take place. Of political parties' lists of candidates. These are the lists which go to the general electorate. But the basis will be what? The basis is not the popular vote. Previously it was, now it is not. On the basis of total number of general seats secured by each political party
from the province.
Now you're repeating
yourself. We've heard
Lord,
this.
so
Go ahead.
The simple submission is that when the political party wins the general seats, that determines the election. My lord, if there was no proviso, for instance, then the independents were totally out of this mix, because the engine
proviso brings in the independents.
The engine for election to a reserved seat is a political party. Without that vehicle, you don't get there. The exception is the proviso. The proviso says that the total number of, so it makes an exception. Where is the exception? The total number of general seats won by a political party shall include the independent returned candidates who join within a certain specified time limit. So those independents will get a say under paragraph D if they join a political party within 3 days. Now, but the words used are won by a political party, that's talking about general seats, shall include the independent returned candidates. Include is in addition to something. So they have a general seat, you include the independents and then you count them. A party which has no general seat at all, that the proviso is not attracted to them. The second submission is that even under paragraph D, the requirement is of a political party's lists of candidates. You don't have to go to the proviso. If there is no list of candidates, that political party has chosen to opt out of the women's seats at that time. As my Lord the Chief Justice said, this may be a situation where they're saying, we are not putting up a candidate for election to this particular seat. If no list is submitted, they are saying, we are not putting up a candidate for 60 seats. Now, what happens? If those independents join a political party which has no list, they are not exercising even the judgment for the electorate as to which list they are voting for. If this was a political party which had a list, then when an independent walked into that political party, he was exercising a conscious judgment that as a consequence of this decision, the result would be that the people on this list will get elected. If I walk into party A instead of party B, certain independents will get elected. No conscious exercise of choice by an independent candidate takes place over here in terms of the proviso.
Mr. Razum, there may be one other scenario. It could be by a conscious decision. For instance, let's take the present case. The manifesto of this political party says no non-Muslims. So they may elect, we are not going to submit a non-Muslim list because this is a manifesto. We'll put, as Americans say, put our money where our mouth is. And we will only give names for women. So that could be a conscious decision. It could be a default setting also. Oh, list dena thi bhul gaye. Consequences would be immaterial. I mean, we will go by the text of the Constitution.
The consequences would be exactly the same as for an election on the general seat where a person doesn't file a nomination paper. Will the election schedule be rewritten for him? My respectful submission is no. If he hasn't filed a nomination paper, if that paper
On a lighter note, someone used to get up every morning and pray to the Almighty, prize bond mera nikala hai, prize bond mera nikala hai. उसके दोस्त ने पूछा, आपने प्राइज बॉन्ड खरीदा है? उन्होंने कहा नहीं. उन्होंने कहा नहीं, रूल्स ऑफ द गेम इज नहीं निकलेगा ना जब तक आप पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करोगे किसी चीज में। अब उन्होंने फैसला कर लिया नहीं करना, हम क्या करें उनको?
My submission,
उन्होंने कहा कि हम इस गाड़ी में चलना चाहते हैं, भाई हम क्या करें?
My submission,
keeping in view the importance of the representative character of the Constitution, and as pointed out by the other honorable members of this bench, what principle of interpretation would we apply? Would it be strict scrutiny review, or we will have a lesser bar? Because ultimately that will of the people, which has never been given importance, you see, that has to be guarded. So what principle of interpretation will we apply?
My Lord, your Lordship should be primarily guided by the text of the Constitution.
So you are saying that despite the importance, the strict scrutiny review principle will not apply.
My Lord, strict scrutiny of what?
Sorry?
Strict scrutiny of what? The Election Act 2017? The general atmosphere in the country?
Everything, because it's the electorate.
Then, my Lord,
it's the Constitution.
Then, my Lord, put these pleadings aside and take suo motu notice and convene another bench.
That is what I had suggested yesterday. And the petitions are pending. We were informed by the petitioner himself that petitions are pending. Why should this court keep those petitions pending if they are so important? And this matter, and we are now only restricting ourselves to the pleadings by ignoring those petitions.
My Lord, that is a question, may I say with great respect, you are asking a question which you know better than me that I cannot answer. Why is a petition pending in this court is not a question which a council can answer. It is for you to answer, and you may answer it the way you like.
That takes us. Makhtoom Sahab, that takes us to that principle of strict scrutiny review.
My Lord, I will not go by formulas.
Mr. Naudum Khan, will you complete your submissions?
My Lord, yes.
Mr. Makhtoom Khan,
आपके कहने का मकसद ये है कि जो पार्टीज बेशक इलेक्शन जीत के जनरल सीट भी जीती हो, अगर उन्होंने लिस्ट जमा नहीं की तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल 51D के मुताबिक बकौल आपके कि वो इंटाइटल्ड नहीं है कि वो सीट्स, सपोज अगर वो नहीं है तो वो फिर सीट्स कहाँ जाएंगी?
First, the answer to first part is yes, and I submit with the utmost humility at my command that the answer is yes, because your lordships will not force a political party in a particular situation to definitely submit a list to assign. Oh, I'm sorry, my Lord, the mic is, the red lights are on over here, but I don't know whether the voice is carrying through or not.
Unity, you are away from the mic.
So may I submit? It becomes very difficult, my Lord, to read from the paper and be close to the mic, but I'm getting used to it. My Lord, the submission is that insofar as the first part is concerned, a political party may, as my Lord the Chief Justice observed, choose not to seek election to any one of the reserved seats, whether for women or for minorities.
Or for both.
Or for both. And if that were to happen, will you...
उनका असूली मौक़िफ़ है कि हम आइन में तब्दीली करेंगे, हम इस पे बिलीव नहीं करते हैं।
जी बिल्कुल।
ये भी हो सकता है उनका मैनिफेस्टो में।
If that is their view, that they do not want to contest the elections, now what happens? By failing to file nomination papers, will that seat go vacant? My Lord, what happens in the case of a general seat, to draw an analogy, when a nomination paper is not filed by any other contesting candidates, the one who has filed the paper gets the seat, even though no voting takes place on it. The submission over here is that if they have not filed the list, in a way that's an indication that they have not put up a candidate for this list. Now, the submission is the vehicle for allocation of seats in terms of Article 51 of the Constitution is the total number of general seats secured by each political party. It is only the political party which is the vehicle to get a general seat. Now,
What is the political party?
Each political party does not include the party which does not opt to file list.
Obviously not.
Political party फिर कौन है? Who is a
Political parties are the parties which have filed a political party's lists of candidates.
So you're saying that Article 51D is the governing provision of this, or the governing words here are the lists. If you file a political party's list, then you are a political party. But if you don't file the list, you're not a political party.
That is not at all my submission, with
And
great respect.
what does it mean?
No, the submission is that a political party, with great respect, choose not to file a list. And if it does, it decides to field candidates, you may contest, you are my members, but you may contest as independents, whatever. No list is filed. The proportion over here is not the proportion on the basis of the whoever gets elected. The proportion is how many seats a party has got. To take my Lord Mr. Justice Mansoor Ali Shah's example, which he gave, if all independents get elected and only 2 candidates are elected from a political party or 1 candidate from political party, it's a hard answer. But the proportion is that it is 60 seats on the text of the Constitution. Unless you rewrite the Constitution and unless you rewrite the law, in order to give what is called the so-called progressive or creative interpretation, your lordships will have to hold that Section 104 of the Election Act and a number of its provisions are meaningless. Section 60 and its provisions are meaningless. A party which has not submitted a list for the reserved seats can post-elections come and say, I didn't do it, but now I want these seats, and now therefore have another election schedule issued for me. Allow me to submit a list of persons for the reserved seats and allocate these seats to me on the basis of the general seats, or allow me to get elected. The result is what? The result is it becomes even more undemocratic. Your lordships are struggling with the concept, and I, my lord, am too, that the will of the people gets ignored. But over here, if you accept this remark that they should be given these seats because now there should be a new formula for them, this list has never gone to the people. This political party is saying, today I will decide which are the 60 women or 50 women or whatever is the share who will get into the National Assembly. This list has not been scrutinized. It can be scrutinized now. This list was not, no priority was assigned on this list. That can be assigned now, but that priority would be meaningless because they would know exactly the number of seats they are getting.
At best, that would mean that they don't get the seat. How does it mean that the other parties get the seat?
Because only the proportion has to be from the political parties which have given the lists. You simply cannot allow a political party to derail the process.
What happens to the latter part, on the basis of total number of general seats secured or won by the party?
Yes, so let's say to take my Lord Mr. Mansoor Ali Shah's example.
That's not the right example to give because it's working on a very extreme level and we want to keep the
I
example
wouldn't dare to say that, but I will follow your ladyship's example.
आप देख लें ना, आप in the current scenario देख लें, this is an election in which there are more independents that have won in the National Assembly and in the provincial assemblies. Now in this scenario where there are more independents that have won seats compared to the political parties, you're saying that because these independents are not going to can't join a political party, or the party they've joined is not a political party, so everything now pivots on the basis of the remaining accepted political parties and the reserved seats will be distributed amongst them.
Your leadership, these independents...
I am having problems with the proportionality here.
May I submit? Yes, there is no problem with the proportionality, and I will submit why. These independents, as your leadership heard yesterday, had 13 choices before them. There were 13 political parties which had a general seat and which had given lists of reserved seats for women. They chose not to join them, and there's a very simple reason why they chose not to join them. The reason is that if they had joined any one of those 13 parties, they would have been tied to the list which that political party had given. They could not have revised that list. That list had been put to the people. That list they would have been tied to. They could have gone further than that only when that list was exhausted. that list was not exhausted. So they chose an expression which I wouldn't like to use, but which has been bandied about over here. They chose an off-the-shelf political party.
If we go by this theory, it would mean that it would open the doors of negotiations with independent candidates, because you would tip the balance that would come out of what the electorate has done. Because now you are looking to get more independents so that you get more reserved seats. And going to a party which has secured no seats at all means that there's nothing, no balance is being tipped over here. So that is essential. That's what Justice Munib said on the very first day, that it's necessary to see कि electorate में से जो vote निकल रहा है वो ही proportionately represent करेगा ना House.
But the system of proportional representation is based on the list of political parties on the basis of general seats secured.
That's your argument.
That's my argument. That's my submission.
Interestingly, that argument means that where on the first date, say we look at the Punjab Provincial Assembly, I'm looking at the Election Commission's reply, and they've given the breakup on page 19 and 20. So if you look at the seats for the National Assembly, initially 22 to 24 को PMLN and PPP सारे breakdown दिए, they were given, so PMLN is right at the top, was given 17 seats, right? On 4-3-24 they are given an additional 10 seats, bringing their total number of seats to 27. Now there is a difference between 17 seats, which is worked out on some proportion, and a difference of 27, which is worked out on some other proportion. And so there you see that there is a problem here. This can't be that 17 seats भी proportional representation है और 27 seats भी proportional representation है.
My ladyship,
इसका मतलब तो यही बन रहा है ना, आप तो यही कह रहे हैं.
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं.
जी, अगर वो political party वो रहती तो फिर 17 हो जाते, और क्योंकि वो political party नहीं है तो 27 हो गए.
Ladyship,
और आप कहते हैं ये proportionality को disturb नहीं करता.
That's my submission, and it doesn't disturb the proportionality, because the proportionality has to be on the basis of the political parties' list. That's the Constitution's word. May I go a little further? The first allocation was on the basis when these seats were in dispute. If they were, let us assume that these were genuine independents. These persons were genuine independents and they did not join any political party. Will the allocation change or not? The allocation will still change.
When you're talking about genuine independents, that would be a limited number.
No, the allocation on your example would not change, because there the first allocation would do it.
Yes.
See, the question here is that there is a reallocation. There are two allocations. That is the problem. आप जो मिसाल दे रहे हैं ना कि they are true independents, तो वो तो पहली एलोकेशन पे ही बात खत्म हो जाती है. तो ये मसला ये आ रहा है कि जी पहले एलोकेशन हो गई, जिनका वो रूट जिस कैंडिडेट की वो PMLN थी या पीपल पार्टी थी या JUIP थी या whatever it was, उसके ओवर एंड अबव दैट, उसमें तो कोई झगड़ा कर ही नहीं रहा ना. ओवर एंड अबव दैट आप एक रीएलोकेशन कर रहे हैं ना. तो आपकी एग्जांपल विद ऑल ड्यू रिस्पेक्ट इज
no, my lord, maybe it was not elegantly phrased.
No, that's the question. But
I can never frame it as elegantly as your lordship, but may I make an
concluded on this point?
My lord,
Have you concluded on this point?
My lord, with one sentence may I conclude. My submission is that if you exclude the independents, the Constitution, if there are independents who do not join a political party, then the provisos are not reached. Then the allocation takes place on the basis of the principal provision itself. For the proviso to kick in, the independent need to join a political party which has won a political seat, and then in that event they will be included for the purposes of calculation. When they join a political party which has not won a single seat, on my submission, in that case, the proviso doesn't kick in. Second, my submission is that the proviso also will not kick in, where under the main provision itself, there is no list of political parties. That was the submission I was trying to make. I'm sorry.
Have you concluded on this point?
Yes,
no,
this
can a thought occurred to me which was triggered by what Justice Jamal Khan had said, and it makes me look at things very differently. I also thought about Justice Shah's comment on the principles. I don't subscribe to the principle theory, but I do subscribe to the literal interpretation of the Constitution theory. We are all talking about why don't we ask the basic and fundamental question which nobody has asked, which nobody has addressed yet, which I'm grateful to my colleague for having triggered it in my mind, is this proportional representation only to bulk up political parties, or there is something far more fundamental? And what is that far more fundamental things? To bring in the participation of women and to bring in the participation of non-Muslims. Now, do I gain support for this from the Constitution? There is Article 25 with particular reference to sub-clause 3. Zara aap dekh lein, padh lein zara please. Then I'll go to the two other provisions.
My Lord, yes, nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for the protection of women and children.
Otherwise, somebody could challenge this provision and saying, but this is unconstitutional. How can you give these women, aaye, ladaye, मैदान में आए, खड़ी हो, हमसे मुकाबला करें और जीते हैं? It could be struck down. This saves it. Then you turn to the principles of policy now, please. First read 34.
Steps shall be taken to ensure full participation of women in all spheres of national life.
Now read 36.
State shall safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of minorities, including their due representation in the federal and provincial services.
Now, if we take the scenario that to leave these seats empty, you may be penalizing one or the other political party, but who you're certainly penalizing are non-Muslims and women. Non-Muslims and women, whether they are in one party or not, presumably would protect their interests, their respective interests, if we consider their interests as something else, and presumably we do. Otherwise, there was no need for this provision in the Constitution. So this, I must acknowledge Justice Jamal Sahab for triggering this thought in my mind that why are we only talking about the political parties? At least, whether it's of political party A or political party B, the women numbers in the National Assembly go up. Whether it's political party A or B, the numbers of non-Muslims go up. So I think it would be very fair and be doing violence to both these segments, these very important segments of society, to throw them out and just read this provision completely separately from the fact that this provision is there for their benefit, not there for the benefit of the political party. That may be an added benefit to the political party, but that segment of population comes in representative in A, B or C political party, that segment will have a voice, that segment will talk, that segment will legislate. What do you have to say on that?
My Lord, I bow to that observation. May I say that to add further, this, I know your Lordship doesn't like a reference to some of the checkered history, but it is part of our history.
No, I like a reference to history, our history, and to learn from it.
My Lord, the lesson from our history is that there was a period of time when there were separate electorates in that country. And when those separate electorates were done away with, it was thought that the result, while the result may be good to bring the nation together, one of the consequences may be that no one from the minorities may get elected. So definitely this number of minorities seats and the women's seats are part of the affirmative action by persons who were amending the Constitution or making the Constitution at that time. This is affirmative action. And of course, the immediate beneficiary will be the minorities and women who will have a greater representation in the National Assembly. The consequential beneficiaries, or we may say equal beneficiaries, will be political parties, because the vehicle for getting these seats is made by the Constitution to be a political party. Previously, there used to be that let's look at the total percentage of votes which are secured in the general elections and let us exclude anyone who gets less than 5% of votes. That was another formula. All of these mathematical formulas, my lord, are in a way arbitrary. But that's what the constitution makers decided. Now this formula is, you have general seats, the division of these seats will be in proportion. If there are only 2 political parties with 10 candidates succeeding, it will be divided between them. If the nation at some moment of lucidity or insanity chooses to elect all independent candidates, then we may have a constitutional problem, but that is not a problem which needs to be addressed now, because as your lordships have repeatedly observed, and I'm made wiser by those observations, that constitutional cases should be decided on the narrowest possible grounds, and that ground is purely hypothetical. So the
मखदूम साहब, ये मैं जस्टिस आयशा साहिबा के सवाल के रेफरेंस से आपसे सवाल कर रहा हूँ. ये पेज नंबर 294 जो पेपर बुक है CMA 5840 of 24 की, इन्होंने पंजाब के रेफरेंस से आपसे बात की. इसमें खैबर पख्तूनख्वा के जो वुमेन्स की रिजर्व सीट्स हैं, अगर आप 294 पेज देखें
जी सर,
तो इसमें PMLN की 4 सीट्स हैं, जमात उलमा इस्लाम पाकिस्तान की 2 सीट्स हैं और पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी की 2 सीट्स हैं विमेंस उसकी. इन्होंने मेरे ख्याल से नेशनल असेंबली की जो सीट्स हैं, इनकी 4 सीट्स नहीं होंगी वहां पे, जो वैसे सीट्स ऑब्टेन करी होंगी आफ्टर इलेक्शन. इसी तरह से प्रोविंशियल असेंबली की नेक्स्ट पेज पे है 295 पेज पे
जी सर,
इसमें जमात उलमाए पाकिस्तान की 8 सीट्स हैं प्रोविंशियल असेंबली की, और 5 सीट्स पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम लीग की हैं, 5 सीट पाकिस्तान पीपल्स पार्टी की है, और 1 सीट पाकिस्तान तहरीके इंसाफ पार्लियामेंटेरियन की है. इनकी सीट्स प्रोविंशियल असेंबली में इतनी नहीं होंगी, या इतनी होंगी उससे ज्यादा प्रोपोर्शन इनको नेशनल असेंबली में भी दिया गया है कि इसकी 4 सीट्स थी जमात उलमाए मुस्लिम लीग की वहां पर नेशनल असेंबली में खैबर पख्तूनख्वा से, या जमात उलमा इस्लाम की 2 सीट्स नेशनल असेंबली में खैबर पख्तूनख्वा असेंबली में. इसी तरह से 8 सीट जमात उलमा इस्लाम की, और ये जो पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ पार्लियामेंटेरियन है, इसकी मेरे ख्याल से 1 सीट थी खैबर, और उसको एक एडिशनल सीट मिल गई. तो ये इसके अंदर जो है कि सबसे ज्यादा प्रोपोर्शन खराब जो हो रहा है यहाँ पर, वो खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में हो रहा है.
Lord, that is why the submission most respectfully was that the word proportional representation is to be looked at in the context of general seats won by a political party. That example has been categorized as extreme, but let me say, in a particular scenario for National Assembly, if there are 2 political parties which win 10 seats each, and the remaining seats are all won by independents, what will happen? Each one of those 2 parties will get 30 of the women's seats. Is it proportionate generally? No. But is it proportionate in the context of political parties represented in the National Assembly having won the general seats, getting the reserved seats? Because they have 10 seats each and there are 60 reserved seats, they will be divided 50-50. So it depends upon how your lordship looks at the concept of proportional representation system. When it is
basically, with this argument on the basis of the reserved seats, the outcome of the general election can easily be changed. You can, because now we're going to look at the list and we're going to look at political parties and not at proportional representation of the number of seats secured. We're just going to look at list and political party. So the outcome can totally change on the basis of this now, because there are just 2 parties or 3 parties and we have to divide those seats, and parties which did not secure a majority would now have an overwhelming majority because we have to look at lists and political parties.
मैं इसमें ऐड करता हूँ, ये आप के कहने का मकसद जो मैं समझाऊँ वो ये है कि हमने ये नहीं देखना कि लॉजिकल है या नहीं लॉजिकल. अब हमने ये देखना है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्या कहता है, वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन जो है वो वक्त के साथ साथ चेंज होती रहती है, यानी हर इलेक्शन में एक सा नहीं रहता, यानी वो फिक्स्ड रेशियो या फिक्स्ड परसेंटेज नहीं है, ये चेंज होता रहता है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ seat secured by each party, political party, irrespective of the fact that the independents are in majority or more than the seats secured by the other parties. तो ये आप कहते हैं तकसीम प्योरली ये इन्होंने जो बनाया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन उनकी मर्जी है, वो इस तरह करें या क्या?
My lord, I have said that many of these divisions are arbitrary. For instance, when initially it was on a percentage of the vote to say anyone getting less than 5% will get excluded, that was arbitrary. But at the same time, this is the wisdom of the constitution makers. This is the text of the constitution. I am not saying look at the list of the political parties. The constitution is using the word political parties.
That's one interpretation.
Your Ladyship, as I said, this is a constitutional conversation, and your lordships and your ladyship will have the last word for this case in this constitutional conversation. I can only make a submission.
On the question of wisdom, now taking the earlier thought a bit further, there may be political forces or political parties, let's not name any, who may be inimical to non-Muslims and women. However, the beauty of the system is that even they come and sit in your party. Naturally, when they come and sit in your party, they will influence you. Look at the beauty. And why are we disrupting this beauty which those with greater wisdom than ourselves, and I use this word for those who make the constitution, we interpret if it requires interpretation. Look at the beauty of the system, that you are inimical to someone and you're forced to sit with that person. I don't like X, I don't like this on the basis of faith or on the basis of gender. But now you want their seat, they are with you. Naturally it will, why was all this done? There is greater wisdom when we start imposing our own logic, our own principles on, then it really disrupts the whole scheme of things, as I understand it.
My lord, in the same line is the wisdom for section 206 of the Election Act, which requires that certain representation must be given to women, and that you must have amongst your elected representatives a certain number of women there. So these are part of the affirmative actions, and as a result, the object may be to have a more cohesive democratic polity. Now,
with respect to Shah Saab, if I can take if at his expense, he's very fond of advocating the cause of women. We are having another thing on Saturday, so he doesn't want the women apparently, and I do. I hope he doesn't mind my saying so.
Makhdoom Saab, it is not a question. I think no one disputes that women and minorities are of great importance and they must be represented. The question here is of genuine representation, and genuine representation comes through genuine elections. Now, we have all talked about the past. That is why, you see, I asked you the question that we have a history. You are representing PMLN. PMLN was in the same
Not in this case. In this case, I am representing a number of candidates belonging to three different political parties.
PMLN.
Also PMLN.
Also People's Party.
Yes.
Each one of them in some election were victims. And this court did not come to their rescue. Today, there's some other political party which is a victim. And we want to ignore all this. That is why it is so important that where the right of vote is concerned, where the representative character is, we must, speaking for myself, develop the principle of interpretation based on strict scrutiny review so as to at least undo what has all happened in the past. Today, exactly the same things are happening as had happened in 2018. We talk about 2018, we completely ignore the grave fundamental rights that are being violated today, and the victim is only one political party. This is exactly what had happened in 2018. History is repeating itself.
I don't know what had happened in 2018.
And we have not learned anything from history.
Lord, may I just give a constitutional answer with your Lordship's leave? If your Lordship, in terms of strict scrutiny, is thinking of the famous footnote 4 of the Caroline Products case and the jurisprudence which has developed as a consequence thereof, there's a different category and there are different categories of review. Your Lordship will have to go into all that. That has not been the case set up before your Lordship, and I am answering the case set up before your Lordship. And therefore, may I say,
the difficulty is you are here before a court which has two very great powers. One under Article 187 to do complete justice, and Article 184(3), where every frivolous matter was also taken up. But what is happening today and whatever is coming before us, we just want to restrict ourselves to the pleadings and want to forget, but in future there will be a point of time where probably this court again would regret.
My Lord, may I just respond in one sentence and move on?
Makhdoom Sahab, on the pleadings point that you have raised, you have read us what obviously are for you relevant portions from the pleadings filed by the appellants. My question to you is this, that as I understand it, portions that you have read is essentially legal reasoning, and on a certain legal reasoning a certain relief is sought.
My Lord,
as a matter of procedure, if the court concludes that the legal reasoning is wrong and identifies the correct legal reasoning, and on the basis of that correct legal reasoning concludes that actually relief can be granted, can the court deny that relief simply because the pleaded case raised not factual but used wrong legal reasoning?
May I submit, your Lordships under 185, and I'm not talking of 184(3) at the moment, have also stated the limits of 187, that it is not a sea where the court can travel whichever way it likes, it acts within those confines. Within those confines, there can be no cavil with this observation. May I, however, say one thing in my defense? One of the paragraphs which I read, which I think is pivot and from which the legal reasonings flow, is from the facts, and that is paragraph 4.
I understand that. I understand that.
That's the submission. And from those facts, those reasoning flow.
Obviously, there has to be some fact.
Yes, my Lord. And on that primary fact,
as I heard you from the various grounds that you read, that was basically just legal.
No, your Lordship is absolutely right. Most of them were grounds. Absolutely correct. The first one was paragraph 4, where they say that they did not submit this list, they did not contest this election. In those facts, they did not plead that this was on account of any extraneous circumstances or pressure. My Lord, insofar as 185...
Can we convert jurisdiction of Article 185 into 184?
My Lord, this is very dangerous territory. I was just simply saying that an observation has been made that this Honorable Court has done a lot of frivolous things under 184(3). I will not go that far. That's for your Lordship's complete. So my submission is that insofar as whatever this court has done under 184(3), this is not a 184(3) jurisdiction. I am not obliged to answer that question.
I can't just say no.
No, I'm saying I'm not obliged to answer that question or respond to that observation. My Lord,
decades of advocacy experience and practice force you to be roundabout about it.
My Lord, counsel is always thinking of the next case.
We have to finish.
Makhdoom Sahab, this controversy has stemmed from an order of the Election Commission of 2nd February 2024. And that is based on a gross misinterpretation of this court's judgment. Should we not look into it and ignore it?
If it is not before you, your lordship should not.
It is before us. It has been placed before us.
This is argumentative अब हो गया ना. चलिए आपने कह दिया जवाब दे दिया आगे बढ़ें.
Move away, my lord, from that. So the basis, concluding, my lord, because I'm conscious of the watch and your lordship's anxiety to proceed.
There have been a number of others also.
Yes, my lord. The submission was, and come back to that the purpose of this list is that the voters can make an informed choice on it.
खत्म कोई नया point बताएं.
इसमें
नया point है तो
Turning the clock back today will exclude the voters from the mix.
मुख्तार साहब एक बात इसमें मज़ीद, सपोज हम बात करते हैं पब्लिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन की, और यकीनन लोगों के विल को तो ज़रूर देखना चाहिए. सपोज एक पार्टी है, एक इलेक्शन में वो मेजॉरिटी पार्टी होती है और अगले इलेक्शन में बाइकआउट कर जाती है. हमें पता है कि वो बहुत पॉपुलर पार्टी है, हमें पता है कि सारी पार्टी लोग उनको वोट देंगे, लेकिन वो उनके लोग डिसाइड करते हैं कि हम बाइकआउट करेंगे, इस इलेक्शन में नहीं जाएंगे. तो क्या विल ऑफ द पीपल तो एक मखसूस जमात के साथ है, लेकिन वो इलेक्शन में हमारे सामने क्या उसको उसकी बुनियाद पर सीट्स की डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगी या नहीं होगी?
Sir, if the
बाकी पार्टी इलेक्शन लड़े क्या उनको मिलेंगी या नहीं मिलेंगी?
My submission is that the parties which contest the elections will get the seats. The vehicle for getting the seat is the political party. The proportion is the proportion which they have. I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry for that. The proportion is the proportion which they have in terms of the general seats they hold.
We will not keep in mind the popularity.
My lord, if your lordships start determining that, what will be the criteria of that?
I can tell you popularity, all dictators get 98.4% in referendums.
My lord, yes. And
this is a rule-based system, constitutional-based system, follow it. Maybe there's a better system, adopt it, follow that system.
Your lordships have put it better than me, that your lordships are the judges of the constitutionality of statutes and not the judges of the oddity or wisdom of what the legislature does. Over here, there is nothing unconstitutional in in section 104 and section 60.
They have not even been challenged.
They have not been.
In fact, you can go see the videos of the last one. I think this point very much came up before when I was hearing that case. If you feel this, you can challenge it, but that challenge hasn't even taken place. So why should we say if it's constitutional or unconstitutional?
And the last submission, the very last submission is that if you accept this argument and if you...
And you know, constitutionality, unless there's overwhelming reasoning and unconstitutionality is absolutely clear, legislation should not be disturbed.
Sir, your lordship's judgments are to the effect that you must put the statute next to the constitution and find every reason to uphold its validity, and only when that fails, then a statute must be struck down. The leading judgment where in all this case law has been encapsulated, or much of the case, is the case of Imrana Tivana. That's on my list of cases already submitted. The last submission, as I was making, my lord, is that if you allow and accept the submission made today, your lordships will be creating a dual system. Political parties which submit lists and must go through the process of scrutiny, have that list notified, and the priority on that list cannot be changed. Persons who join an off-the-shelf political party which has not submitted a list, which has not gone to the people in the general election, can now come up with a list post the election, ask for a new election schedule, have their papers scrutinized on that basis and have those seats allocated. Neither the independents knew at the time when they joined this party who are going to be the persons on the list, nor did the ordinary voter know. So there would be virtually one criteria for the appellant and another for the rest of the 13 political parties which are there. My lord, that's the final submission. I have prepared a note. I'll give you lordship.
Note kidhar aapka?
My lord, just hand it over.
The Election Commission. You wanted to file something.
My Lord, I filed a CMA, a concise statement.
अभी जो आप कुछ दे रहे
थे, would my Lord like to look at that first?
चौर आप दे रहे थे.
जी. Would my Lord, I can come to that in the.
Okay, as you wish.
I apologize, my Lord. वो सारों के लिए मैं mark और highlight sticky लगा रहा हूँ.
ठीक, okay.
Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, the Election Commission of Pakistan has filed a concise statement in terms of CMA 5840. I'll principally be making submissions from that and relying on the material which is appended with that concise statement.
Nothing filed therein is disputed.
My Lord, no, these are all matters of record. This has been on record since, my Lord, before the hearing started. The respondents have a copy, the appellants have a copy.
Haven't filed anything in contradiction?
No, my Lord, nothing has been filed in contradiction.
Is this a complete record of everything? Is this a complete record?
No.
Is this a complete record of everything?
Ladyship, yes. I've endeavored to file a record of everything.
So, for example, the 86 independents who have joined the petitioner party, उनका record किधर है?
तो उन्होंने
उनके nomination papers किधर हैं और उनका record किधर है with reference to their affidavits and their nominations and their letters that they've joined, वो complete record नहीं है. At least I've not seen it in this.
जी, I haven't filed every single nomination paper of every candidate. By way of sample, I have filed 3 or 4.
But how do we know what your sample is? You should have filed the entire lot of all 86.
In your defense, there was no direction.
My Lord, may I adopt, my Lord, the Chief Justice's response as my response to Ladyship?
I will refrain from responding out of deference.
No, Ladyship, but I have no issue. I will
file कर दीजिए. चलिए आप file कर दें.
मैं file कर दूँ.
ठीक है.
Form 33 भी.
Form 33 my Lord लगे हुए हैं. मैं अभी I rely on them and I'll be.
वो सारा file कर दें आप.
My Lord, जो चीजें file की हुई हैं, may I go through those?
हाँ, चलें वो चलें.
And then anything that.
आप किसी की duty लगा दें कि
लगा दिए sir. लगा दिए. It's done.
Can you give us facts according to your understanding?
बिल्कुल जी, बिल्कुल. Lord, the facts and my legal formulations are as concisely as I could frame in my concise statement. I'll take my lords through the facts, the factual chronology first. My lord, it all starts with the issuance of the election program, sometimes also referred to as an election schedule, but the Act uses the expression election program. So when I say election program, I mean election schedule. That was issued, my lord, on 15/12/2023. Would my lords just like me to list these facts? I would like to take my lord through the document. Can I do that now, my lord? Thank you. Thank you, my lord. So, my lord, that is the first document appended at page 17. 17 of part 1 of CMA 5840.
Page?
It's 17, my lord. Well, I'll just read the opening paragraph of this too. The election schedule is a crucial document. It is very relevant to all the submissions I'll be making. They flow from this. The whole election program for the entire election, which includes election to general seats as well as election to reserve seats for women and non-Muslims. I'll just be using the expression reserve seats, but when I say that, I mean both non-Muslims and women. All of it is regulated by this single election program. The election program is finalized and issued at the beginning of the election process. And I'll be developing this further and saying this.
इस notification के preamble में section 104 का reference क्यों नहीं है?
My lord, because this is the election program which is being issued.
नहीं, इस reserve seats की भी बात की है तो 104 का reference क्यों नहीं है?
My lord, इसमें reserve seats are covered in paragraph 2.
Why you are not mentioned section 104?
My Lord, this is referring to section 104 is connected through paragraph 2. That is my submission.
Why this submission?
My Lord, with utmost respect, I don't see any, I don't think the election program stands vitiated because... ठीक है जी, वो भी उड़ा देते हैं फिर जी. But my humble submission is that it does not vitiate...
Your reply suggests how you conducted the election.
My Lord, I leave it at that. My submission is that nothing turns on it is my respectful submission, sir. The Act, section 104 is part of the law. It has not been set aside. It is there. It was applied.
Yes.
Grateful, my Lord.
Everything is a part of the law.
Yes, my Lord. So, my Lord, may I read the opening notification, the opening paragraph? Pursuant to the announcement of poll date by the Election Commission of Pakistan, video notification dated 3rd of November 2023, and on 8th February 2024, the Election Commission of Pakistan, in terms of Article 224 read with 254 of the Constitution and Section 57(2), this is, my Lord, the most relevant section of the Elections Act, and all other powers enabling it in that behalf, hereby calls upon the electors of the National Assembly and Provincial Assemblies in Punjab, Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan to elect their representatives from each of the constituencies to the general seats in connection therewith, and in connection therewith appoints the following dates for various activities of the election to the aforesaid assemblies. Now, my Lord, let's please just go through these stages. They are all very crucial and relevant. First, my Lord, public notice is issued. Then, my Lord, there is a time period for filing of the nomination papers. This applies to both candidates for general seats and reserve seats. Publication of names of the nominated candidates. Then, my Lord, scrutiny under Section 60 takes place before the returning officer. There are appeals provided for that. And then, my Lord, I come to 7. There is, my Lord, publication of revised list. These are the candidates whose nomination papers have been accepted.
रिजर्व सीट का भी होता है ना
जी जी माय लॉर्ड मैं उसी पे अभी आ रहा हूँ जी बिल्कुल आइडेंटिकल उसका इसी तरह होता है जी देन माय लॉर्ड last date for withdrawal of candidature and publication of revised list of candidates. This is when all the candidates stand locked in. It's when this list My Lord, this last list is in terms of Form 33, which I'll come to, which is very relevant.
Which is basic document.
That's the basic document, my Lord. So the Form 33, when we reach the Form 33 stage, there's a Form 33 for general seats, and likewise, identical process, there's a Form 33 for reserve seats. There are returning officers, my Lord, as my Lords know, for the general seats all over Pakistan, and 6 returning officers are separately appointed by the Election Commission, specifically for scrutinizing the nomination forms within the prescribed period of candidates for reserved seats. So, my Lord, I was coming back to Form 33. When Form 33 is issued, the voters, the electorate, it has notice that these are the candidates who will be contesting elections.
General seats.
General seats as well as, my Lord, because there is a Form 33 for reserve seats also.
Just a minute. देखिए इसमें Form 33 में last जो column है 5.
जी सर.
उसमें party affiliation if any.
बिल्कुल.
ये आपको क्या कानून इख्तियार देता है कि आप डिटरमाइन करें कि ये पार्टी एफिलिएशन है या वो जो फॉर्म जमा होते हैं आपने जस्ट देखना है कि ये फॉर्म इसके साथ एफिलिएशन है तो ये पार्टी के इस फॉर्म के साथ एफिलिएशन सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है तो वो इंडिपेंडेंट है
बिल्कुल जी
क्या ये इस तरह है या आपके इसमें इख्तियार है कि आप खुद डिटरमाइन
मैं एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ माय लॉर्ड आई वाज गोइंग टू कम टू इट बट आई एम हैप्पी टू आंसर दिस इज एक्चुअली वन ऑफ द सेंट्रल क्वेश्चंस व्हिच वाज being discussed in the bench in the morning session. If I can just argue sequentially, I will be, my lord, I will be addressing this.
Please go ahead.
But my lord, this is, I will answer it in detail.
Note kar le.
Note it. My lord, the short answer to that is,
for lighter note, Siddiqui sahab ne bhi 10-12 question mere note ke jawab kisi ka nahi diya.
My lord, I promise, let's have a score, my lord, कि सिद्दीकी साहब और मेरा score क्या रहता है. I promise I'll be answering. And I may not, I don't know whether I'll be successful in the case, but I'm going to win this.
बैठ जाए. Question one noted. What's his name? Your associates?
Abdullah.
Abdullah, you'll be penalized if you don't remind him. Note, sit down and
Abdullah
note question
also
one.
keep score, sir. How many questions I missed? He can keep score, sir. My lord. My lord, Form 33. There is a Form 33 for reserve seats. There's a Form 33 for general seats. Always. It's there. It's on record. I'll come to it. That is the form, my lord, which is noticed to the electorate that these are the candidates who are going to be, in the case of general seats, on the ballot paper, and in the case of reserve seats, they are candidates of political parties who have filed Form 66. Form 66, my lord, is the reserved seat for the political parties list for reserve seats. That is a form. It is regulated by the rules. It's provided for in Rule 92.7, my lord, right. And the form is Form 66. So, my lord, just nomenclature, I'll be calling it Form 66.
This is for reserve seats.
Yes, my lord.
Form 66.
Specifically. My lord, this expression that has been used, list, the legal expression is Form 66. That's what the statute refers to it as. So, my lord, what I was submitting was, political parties which have within the prescribed period filed a Form 66 and their candidates filed their nomination forms within the period specified in the election program, whose nomination forms have been accepted, go into the Form 33. Form 33 is notice to the world, to the electors of this country.
33 and 66.
My lord, Form 33, I said.
Not 66.
No, my lord. 66 is the list. So,
okay.
By the party. 66 is the list on the basis by the party.
My lord, actually the list जो है, ये भी मैं समझा देता हूँ.
इसकी बुनियाद पे ये 66 बनता है.
बिल्कुल जी, बिल्कुल. My lord, जो forms
आप बनाते हैं.
जी जी. My lord, the Form 66.
पहले जरा अगर इसको आप जो है ना, पहले आप general seat का complete करके and then come to the reserve seats.
ठीक है जी. My lord, all I am submitting is that दोनों का process identical है. The same provisions of law apply.
Stages बता देना.
Stages, बिल्कुल. So my lord, what I have done is I can go to that straight away after I make this one. I clarify this point.
But it begins
I have a sample of my lord, I have a whole set of a candidate for reserve seats. And if I may have permission, I think that will be very helpful. I'll just take my lord through a real set of what happens to a candidate, like my lord wants to see. वो nomination form file करता है, वो क्या होता है? और एक general seat का है.
General seat से शुरू कर.
General seat का शुरू कर दूं जी. General seat से.
You have copies for all of us?
जी, मानो they're all in my. जी. H है?
इस पेज पे.
मैं आ रहा हूँ जी. हाँ? किधर है मेरा? हाँ. नहीं, अभी बुखारी independent. हाँ. My lord, I have a package here for page 239.
You returned.
For a returned independent candidate.
Is it?
Page 239. It starts there. This candidate's name was Shahid Ahmed, and it was for NA 38.
Two, 3, 8.
9, my lord. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Form A.
G. So, my lord, the first thing that comes is the election program is issued. The RO invites nomination forms, and the nomination form is given. Here, before I come to page 241, my lord, because that
just
is...
Just one little question for my clarity.
Of course,
so when he files the Form A, does he then have, suppose if he's representing a party, a political, he must then already have a ticket to file this?
No, my lord, this is, you see, that's why...
Later there could be more than one.
My lord, may I samjhata? Then may I please, because this was to answer my lord's questions, if I just am allowed a little bit of time to go in my sequence, all of this will come up.
Sure.
May I
There's some
revert?
rough edges
I
which you
apologize, my lord.
from you. That's okay.
My lord, I will answer your question. That's very pertinent right now. My lord, there are two clarifications, I think. One, my lord, जो reserve seats की list है, Form 66. The Constitution says it is submitted by the political party to the Election Commission, not by the candidate to the RO. Section 104 then says that when the candidate applies for a reserve seat, he must submit the same documents to the RO also. एक ये चीज हो गई जी. दूसरा, my lord's question, this is very relevant actually. So my lord, the nomination form gets filed right at the beginning. This is stage 2. At that stage, the law does not, and for this will answer my lord's, Mr. Justice Bandukhe's point. I'm going to read section 66 and 67.
You mean to say that despite filing list by the political party, the candidates mentioned in that list shall also file their nomination papers separately?
Ji, my lord, because my lord, he is at the end. My lord, let me make this point that a reserve seat for women or non-Muslim is as much of an MNA as a general seat MNA. And this is important, and I will develop on this. The reserve seat for women candidate can be Prime Minister. That's why the electorate must have notice in terms of Form 33 of the candidate before they go to vote. Exactly, my lord. उनको पता हो कि ये, as I said,
for instance, a Muslim cannot contest on a non-Muslim.
Yes, my lord. And my lord, there may be a voter who says, I am a die-hard supporter of Party X, but if Sikandar is in their reserved list, I will not vote for him.
Very harsh.
Sikandar is neither non-Muslim nor a woman, but I was just making a point, my lord.
I didn't want to upset anyone.
I didn't want to take anyone's name. So
For my knowledge, एक question. After filing the nomination paper, after filing the list by the party and filing the nomination paper by Sikandar, can he withdraw the nomination?
Yes, my lord. Is this question, is Sikandar applying for a general seat or a reserve seat?
Reserve seat?
Yes, my lord, he can.
कमर इस्तेमाल कर लें, दोनों के लिए चल जाएगा.
ठीक है जी. My lord, yes, he can. Up to 12/1/2024, which is the step 8 in the election program. My lord, as I said, every single provision relating to scrutiny nomination forms is identical to the, and my lords are very used to seeing in election matters those. It's the same process.
ये बताएं that you're saying this form is available for the public to look at, the party list. Where is it available?
My lord,
during the course of when it's filed.
It is. I will read the provision. It is also uploaded on the website of the Election Commission of Pakistan.
आप कब करते हैं? So as a member of the public A and who wants to be very diligent, where will that person see Form 33?
Form 33 is published. It's a public document.
And Form 66, when will they see Form 66?
They will see Form 66. Leadership Form.
Form 66 कहाँ upload करते हैं या public को कहाँ से मिल रहा है?
Leadership, beg your pardon, that is filed with the nomination papers also, and it is given to the ECP, and the ECP publishes it.
Yes, इसमें लिखा है 104 की last line में. Such list to be published for information of public.
Yes, may I proceed? So the other point, so I can withdraw. Now the point I want to clarify. So my lord, nomination papers were to be filed. I'm taking practical, real examples. Sikandar had to file his nomination papers by 24th, whether he was a general seat candidate or a reserve seat candidate. The allocation of symbols, my lord, this is my lord's queries, and this has been something which has been
So
in
my
the court
question was that with the nomination paper, he files the...
I'm just going to answer it. Just going to answer it. So, my lord, in the case of a candidate for reserve seats, he says, I am attached to this party and I give my Form 66 to you to demonstrate that I am validly nominated. In the case of a general seat, there are only two options in the scheme of the law. One is you contest election on a general seat with the support of a political party. The legal nomenclature of this, in the language of the Election Act, it means that that candidate has done two acts. They are voluntary acts. They are his choice. He has given a declaration on oath of the nominated candidate. These are the words on the top of the page in the Form A, which has been referred to many times. He gives I'll come to that, my lord, but before that I want to read 66 and 67, and then I'll explain it all. So, my lord, the general seats candidate has to do two things, and with utmost respect, a lot of the focus has been on his declaration. It's not enough. Section 66 and 67 envisage a combination of two acts and documents for this nomination to be complete. That is, one, he gives a declaration that I belong to X party. If my lord will see, I know my lord has that page, then it says, or, the form gives you only two choices. It says, I belong to X and my party affiliation certificate, that is the legal language of what we call the ticket, is attached. It says it is attached, but under law and in practice, it is attached later, and I'll just come to it. In addition to that, the form says, on oath, he gives a declaration, I belong to X party, and my party affiliation certificate is attached. Or, if these two conditions are not satisfied by him, the only other choice for him, if he wishes to contest, is to automatically, by operation of law, not my acts, not the Election Commission's acts or any third party's acts, he becomes an independent. There is no concept of ex-party-backed candidate.
It is subsection 3 of section 67 which you are referring to.
Bilkul, my lord. There is no concept
and can
of
we
this.
read the law?
Now, this I'll substantiate by reading 66 and 67.
Sorry, you are saying there is
67 subsection 3.
You just said there is no concept of party-backed candidate.
A party-backed independent candidate. That is impossible. It's a misnomer.
पहले प्रोविजन पढ़ लेते हैं फिर आप
बिल्कुल जी सर मुझे पता है मैं कर रहा हूँ अब मुझे करने दे मैंने यहाँ पे अपना लॉ अलग से रखा Where's my statute?
आप 66 पढ़ना चाहते हैं?
जी sir, please.
67. Let's read it without interpreting it.
I want my lord
खत्म कर लें फिर.
बिल्कुल जी. And my lord, may I have my lord's permission to also read 57 in the same go?
तो भी पढ़ना है पहले पढ़ लें फिर हम आपके आर्गुमेंट समझ सकें ना.
My lord, may I have 57?
That's the light, not the mic.
Oh. My lord, sorry.
I thought I'll put Sikandar on the right track. Achha.
No pressure, my lord. Today.
कौन सा पढ़ें? 57?
My lord, may I start with 57 first?
Why not? पढ़ें.
Because that, my lord, just to demonstrate, and I know my lord has said कि अच्छा चले मैं पढ़ देता हूँ. I apologize.
Because I can then appreciate.
I know, my lord.
Not appreciate your arguments.
I know, my lord. 57, my lord. Notification of election program. On a lighter note, my lord, my copy says election programmed, which I noticed. I think it's printed as such. My lord, I will read two. Within 7 days of the announcement of under subsection 1, which is the poll date, The Commission shall, by notification in the Official Gazette and by publication on its website, call upon the voters of the notified assembly constituencies to elect their representatives in accordance with an election program which shall stipulate, and I will just read A, B, C, and F, the last date for making nominations, which shall be the 6th day after the day of publication of the notification, or if that day is a public holiday, the next succeeding day, which is not a public holiday. The last date for publication of names of nominated candidates, which shall be the day following the last date of filing of nomination papers. The last date for scrutiny of nominations, which shall be the 8th day immediately following the last day for making nominations. And F, my lord, the last date for publication of revised list of candidates, which shall be the day following the last date for decisions. Then, my lord,
decision of
G, the last date for withdrawal of candidature, which shall be the date following the last date of publication of revised list. And H, the date, this is crucial and most relevant, the date for allocation of symbols to contesting candidates and publication of list of contesting candidates, which shall be the day following the last date for withdrawal of candidature, or if that day is a public holiday, the next succeeding day. I won't say anything, I'll just move on to reading it. I won't give my own comments, my lord.
Sikandar, could I come to that question that I had asked earlier? That if you file the nomination paper, you file the certificate with it, there is a possibility that there are 2 or 3 candidates for the same party for that constituency? So they could all go through, and then who would get the symbol?
My lord, so, my lord, what is relevant also is
party. All the 3 cannot regular general seats.
General seats pe we get candidate A, B, and C
from one party.
From the single party.
Yes, that's
no, my lord.
That's not possible.
That's not possible because there is this other concept which I am going to come to, which is
covering candidates hote hain na.
वो तो my lord withdraw हो जाते हैं.
Last date.
That's what I want to understand.
I will explain
when you
it.
file the nomination paper, they could just have one ticket, right? One person will have a ticket. How does the covering candidate come in?
यही, my lord, I'll come to the punchline. My lord, नहीं जी, sir ये नहीं होता. Practice में ये, this is what the law is, and we're coming to the second. My lord, the election symbol, the party affiliation ticket जो है, that is only submitted at stage 7. It is never given by anyone at stage 1.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why, my lord's example, you can have A, B, and C from the same party.
That's right.
Then ultimately only one of them can have a common.
That's exactly the question. And the nomination paper is slightly defective in the sense the nomination paper envisages that you have to do it at that moment, but it's happening later.
Absolutely.
Because they'll have to pinpoint one
Absolutely.
person.
And that's why I said that, my lord, it says...
Party head does this. Party head does this.
The
party head.
क्या चीज does what? I beg your pardon.
मेरा candidate है.
जी, वो
खुद फैसला कर.
My lord, वो अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के मुताबिक वो जो भी empowered होता है वो पार्टी affiliation ticket issue करता है. The Elections Act does not regulate. We take it as face value. And invariably, we have no say, and invariably it's the chairman.
Am I right in understanding that this, the second I belong to this political party which says it will have the party ticket attached is not to be read? It's
yes, my lord, and that's why I said that it says this, and it's actually misleading and inaccurate. It is.
वो बाद में आ जाएगा.
उसको, and sir, इसमें in practice I've seen many nomination forms. कभी कभार वो हाथ से candidate लिखता है कि party affiliation ticket will be given at the time of allocation of symbol.
उस वक्त फैसला होगा कि
exactly. वो हमेशा यही होता है, my lord. This is my submission.
This correction should have been made.
Obviously, it should be made. It's very misleading, and it creates an impression which is cleared by section 66-67.
Sikandar, एक question यहीं पर for clarification. A, B, and C file nomination papers for party A. Okay. And at the time of filing of the ticket, one person gets the ticket.
Exactly.
If other 2 do not withdraw, they become the independent.
Exactly. They become independent by operation of law. If they wish, if they don't withdraw by that date, that's what I said, sir. If you can withdraw until then.
But how do they become independent?
I'll come to that, G. They become independent because
the nomination form of that candidate says I'm a candidate of party,
it doesn't become, and I'll just come, let me read 66. My lord, I'm just going to answer that by reading 67.
The question is, how does he become independent?
Bilkul, I will answer this.
That's a different question from...
Actually, I'll answer both. The answer, I think I've understood my lord's question. My lord also...
Sikandar, sirf ye bata dein, if I have correctly understood you, that the election symbol is the determinant factor for identifying a candidate to be a political party's candidate or not. Is that your case?
Yes. A common election symbol is the symbol. My lord, there's two kinds of symbols.
How do you reconcile this with subsection 2 of section 215?
My lord, 215, though I'm not even reading it, but I know it's the section for allocation of symbols.
No, it is a
for that 215 says
when combination of political parties.
67 padhenge.
My lord, मैं पढ़ना चाह रहा हूँ, but I have to answer every question that's asked of me.
Let's get.
My lord regulates the proceedings.
No, let's get the rules. By all means, note the questions. Maybe in your submissions it will get answered. Maybe it doesn't get answered. So at least I can understand it becomes very difficult to address so many questions simultaneously. आप रुक गए, फिर आप 66 पढ़ना था. वो फिर आप
मैं आ गया 66 पे, and I'm grateful, my lord, for 66, my lord. My lord, 66 and 67 in my humble submission will answer my lord, Mr. Justice
पढ़िए.
Candidate to file certificate of party affiliation. A contesting candidate, before seeking allotment of a prescribed symbol, shall file a declaration before the returning officer about his affiliation with a particular political party, if any, along with a certificate from the political party showing that he is that party's candidate from the constituency. 67. 1. If after withdrawal, if any, there are more than one contesting candidates in the constituency, the returning officer shall allot, subject to any direction of the commission, one of the prescribed symbols to each contesting candidate.
Prescribed means
my lord, prescribed means prescribed by rules. There are two separate sets of symbols. There are two pools. One pool is for general seats, and there's a separate pool for independents. And the rules regulate this. And all the symbols are provided in the rules. A candidate nominated by a political party at an election in any constituency shall be allotted symbol allocated by the commission to that political party under the provisions of chapter 12, and no other symbol. A candidate, this is my answer, my lord, a candidate not nominated by any political party, hereinafter called as independent candidate, shall choose and shall be allotted one of the symbols not allocated to any political party in the following manner.
अगर कोई कैंडिडेट लिख दे बेशक कि मैं फलां पार्टी से हूँ, वो मानी नहीं रखता, मानी वो रखता है.
My lord, it's a you have to do two things.
फिर आपने वही किया.
My lord, I apologize.
आपने नोट करें ना क्वेश्चन.
Noted, my lord.
चलें आगे पढ़ें, फिर हम फिर आ जाइएगा उस पे सवाल.
ठीक है जी. My lord, then I read section 68.
ये खत्म हो गया ये आप.
जी my lord, मैंने क्योंकि वो नीचे तो it's not relevant to me.
चलें आगे पढ़ें.
नहीं इसमें जरा देखिए, आप जो
पूरा पढ़ लेना पूरा.
ठीक है जी, बिल्कुल.
आप जो बात कर रहे हैं वकील साहब, आप जो बात कर रहे हैं कि जो अभी आपसे सवाल किया गया कि एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में 3 कैंडिडेट नॉमिनेशन फॉर्म भरते हैं फॉर पार्टी ए. आप कह रहे हैं कि एट द टाइम ऑफ एलोकेशन ऑफ सिंबल वो पार्टी ए सिर्फ एक कैंडिडेट को अपना देती है, ऑल्दो दे
शायद तीनों को ना दे.
चले एक को दे दिया.
चलें ठीक है जी.
लेट्स टेक अ सिंपलर एग्जांपल.
ठीक है जी.
एक को दे दिया, बाकी 2 कैंडिडेट रह गए.
जी
ठीक है ना, कि उनको नॉमिनेट नहीं किया.
जी.
आप कह रहे हैं कि अब उनको इंडिपेंडेंट कंसिडर किया जाएगा क्योंकि उनकी पार्टी ने उनको नॉमिनेट नहीं किया.
Because he is not someone who is nominated in terms of the law by a party.
मैं समझ रहा हूँ
ये तो आप
लेकिन यहाँ पे फैक्ट जरा फर्क है.
जी सर.
यहाँ पे द पार्टी वॉज अनएबल टू nominate the political nominate a candidate and to give him that symbol कि इसको ये symbol दो, because सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट थी कि इसको सिंबल नहीं मिल सकता.
ठीक है जी.
Is your case that this situation is also covered by this?
जी सर, because at the end of the day, sir, आखिरी जो आपका words है,
देखिए, एक है inability of the party to at all give the symbol. एक है party choosing between different candidates.
ठीक है जी.
Your case is there exactly the same.
Yes, and may I elaborate? I am the Election Commission of Pakistan, and that's how I see it. I see you want to contest election, give me a declaration and a party affiliation certificate, both. If you bring me both,
the court, by order of the court, he wants to, his party wants to, but by order of the court, he can't do it.
My lord, the party is bound by the judgment of the Supreme Court on the law.
Sikandar,
he does. There is, because my lord, मैंने कहा मेरा straightforward सी position है.
Answer मैं समझ गया.
बिल्कुल जी. It's binary.
Sikandar, the way
I don't know. Sorry, if you're not going to argue your case, please note the question. I mean, half a provision we are reading and you are responding. Please finish the reading.
Sikandar, the way you are interpreting this, the election commission.
पढ़ने वाली बात है ना, पढ़ तो लेना प्लीज. मैं देख लूं तो एक दफा.
आपका जो इंटरप्रिटेशन है इलेक्शन कमीशन जिस तरह कर रही है, आप कह रहे हैं कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इनलिस्टेड ही रहेगी.
जी बिल्कुल.
लेकिन now there is a prohibition, it cannot contest the elections only because the symbol has been taken away.
Absolutely.
This is your interpretation.
I absolutely say this.
Where is this prohibition in the statute and how would it reconcile with Article 17?
बिल्कुल ठीक है जी. I'll note this and respond to it.
आप ये नोट कर लें, हमें पहले लर्नड काउंसिल, आप ये नोट कर लें, हमें पहले वो प्रोविजन 67 पूरा पढ़ के तो सुनाएं.
बिल्कुल सर.
So note कर लें ये question, please.
My lord, I will answer. I fear I might.
पढ़ें जरा, फिर से पढ़ें. Read 67 again.
My lord, I'll read it unbroken this time. If after withdrawal, if any, there are more than one contesting candidates in the constituency, the returning officer shall allot, subject to any direction of the commission, one of the prescribed symbols to each contesting candidate. Subsection 2. A candidate nominated by a political party at an election in any constituency shall be allotted the symbol allocated by the Commission to that political party under the provisions of Chapter 12 and no other symbol. 3. A candidate not nominated by any political party, hereinafter called as independent candidate, shall choose and shall be allocated one of the symbols not allocated to any political party in the following manner. A. Where a symbol has been chosen by only one independent candidate, that symbol shall be allotted to that candidate and to no one else. If a symbol is chosen by more than one independent candidate, one of them has previously been a member of the National Assembly or a provincial assembly, such symbol shall be allotted to that former member. And C, if more than one independent candidates have given preference for the same symbol, the symbol shall be allotted by drawing of lots. No symbol shall be allotted to any candidate other than the prescribed symbols. Subclause 5. In every constituency where election is contested, different symbols shall be allotted to each contesting candidate.
Now I have just been sort of floored by your submission. So if I understand your submission correctly, what you're telling us is that the effect, at the very least, the effect of the Supreme Court judgment in saying that the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf cannot be allocated the badge symbol is to eliminate the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf as a political party from the electoral fray for the general election of 2024. Is this what you...
That is absolutely not, my lord, what I have said, and I apologize. And let me now phrase what I said. My lord, let me please answer this, very important, because my lord has been floored, so I want to unfloor that.
Absolutely flabbergasted.
No, my lord, please don't be.
Reading a judgment of
Let me answer, my lord. That's not what I said at all. What I said is this. I said that a candidate in order to be treated as being nominated by a political party, must one, give a declaration on oath that he belongs to that party, and give a party affiliation certificate. That is one. Number two, in order to contest election under a common election symbol of a political party, the candidate must have the common election symbol. The common election symbol was not available to this political party.
Why?
My lord, because
in that scenario,
it did not.
This situation में क्या वो candidate?
My lord, I think that's not a fair characterization, my lord. That I am saying that it eliminated the political party.
पहली बात ये है कि पहली एक दफा बात होती है कि जजमेंट की बात ना करें और फिर जजमेंट की बात हो रही है. अगर जजमेंट की बात है तो कम से कम खोल के पढ़ें.
My lord, I am not referring to it.
नहीं तो please argue your way, because that's not the judgment. It is the law. इसमें पढ़ लें जरा paragraph 15. In the instant case, no one sought to deprive the PTI of an election symbol, not the ECP, the government, nor any political party. Now, one of the things is, when you don't hold an election, that's the result. You can do it tomorrow, election kar lein. Le lo वापस symbol. It's not a end time thing. I mean, I was very surprised कि election फिर भी नहीं कर रहे हो. 10 दफा वो कह रहे हैं हम नहीं करेंगे, आप कुछ कर लो. भाई हमने कानून नहीं बनाया, जिसने कानून बनाया उसको जाके कहो कि आपने क्यों लिखी है. नहीं, देखें ये मुनासिब बात नहीं है. या तो अगर आप जजमेंट का बार-बार रेफर कर रहे हैं, फिर उसको पढ़ के बताइए कहाँ लिखी हुई हैं ये बातें. ये आप या तो अपने आर्ग्यूमेंट करें. हमके तो कोई लिमिट होती है ना कि आप बस हम चले जाएं क्या कब तक की केस सुनेंगे. कोई खत्म तो करना चाहिए ना केस. हर केस कोई महीनों तो नहीं चलना चाहिए. कोई बाकी लोग भी तो सफर कर रहे हैं. थाउजेंड्स ऑफ केसेस ऑफ पेंडिंग.
सिकंदर, इसका मतलब है
आप प्लीज अपना आर्ग्यू करिए.
To understand your point, you are saying
point आपने कहा ही नहीं. आपने 2 सेकंड.
Just a binary thing, right? That either you get the symbol and then you are a candidate of the political party, or you don't and you are an independent candidate. ये तो आपकी बात मुझे ठीक समझ आई है. Now here is a problem, a difficulty, that on account of a judgment of the Supreme Court, and I will say that because Election Commission has based itself on that judgment, on that we are unable to give you that election symbol. Therefore, you become an independent candidate.
And this is also how you have interpreted it in your order of the 2nd February.
आप देखिए, आप
जो कहना चाहते हैं वो कहे ताकि मैं हमें समझ जाए आप कहना क्या चाहते हैं.
My lord, I thought I was extremely clear, my lord. If my lords think that I wasn't,
आप जो binary कह रहे हैं,
you were not, so that's why
I wasn't. So my lord, may I ask my lord to help me so I can help him?
I just want to understand, adding to what
I want to hear you.
My lord, I want to argue.
I think we should hear counsel, and then we can write anything we want to. That's our prerogative. But at least अपना argument तो खत्म कर लें. फिर हम आपसे 100 सवाल पूछ लेंगे. आप अपना एक contention तो रिकॉर्ड का. अभी तक तो आपने 2 सेक्शन पढ़े हैं बस.
जी बिल्कुल.
आगे बढ़िए.
हाँ या ना में जवाब दीजिएगा.
If we don't understand the section, what do we do? What do we do, Mr. Sikandar?
Which bit should I explain?
I don't understand 63, your interpretation, 67.3. You were saying, देखें, जो सवाल पहले आ रहा है, we need to understand, we have to stop you here to understand this, or we can just not understand and go ahead.
My lord, but at any moment...
So the question is that how does one become independent in this particular scenario where he has been nominated by a political party but does not get a symbol, does not mean he becomes independent. He would become independent if he was not nominated by a political party. In this case, the circumstances are different. He is nominated but does not have a symbol.
Lord,
would that also mean that he's independent? That's the question.
My lord, I read the section. Let me please argue. Can I have half an hour, and then at the end of this, maybe I will have answered some of these questions, and then, my lord, I can answer them. May I take my lords through the way I have prepared the case?
I have repeatedly told you to do so. You elect not to do so. What can I do? Please note the question and respond.
I have just developed the courage to ask the bench this, my lord.
Gigi, please,
So, my lord, I was reading. I'll go back to my own sequence.
I mean, let's be fair to everyone. We have to conclude things. We have to hear other cases also.
Sikandar, this is a very crucial question, and you must answer it very clearly. Again, I'm asking you. I'd also asked you earlier,
sir.
As you are interpreting subsection 3,
You are saying, in other words, that if a party does not have an election symbol, it may be enlisted, but it is barred from nominating any candidate. This is your statement. Is it correctly understood?
My Lord, may I note this and respond to it once I've made my principal submission?
आगे चलें, ये आपको बार-बार कह रहे हैं, नोट करें आगे।
इसके साथ एक और बात भी नोट कर ले, क्योंकि बार-बार जजमेंट की बात हो रही है कि जजमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट, ये बात ध्यान में रख लें। लास्ट डेट ऑफ पब्लिकेशन ऑफ रिवाइज्ड लिस्ट वाज 12th of January।
जी
ठीक,
बिल्कुल।
जजमेंट आई 13 को, तो इसका मतलब ये कि 12 तारीख को जिस कैंडिडेट ने नॉमिनेशन पेपर सबमिट किया उनके साथ सर्टिफिकेट, एफिलिएशन सर्टिफिकेट होना चाहिए था। अभी तक आपको जजमेंट नहीं आई है।
My Lord, वो सर्टिफिकेट, my Lord, वो सर्टिफिकेट ही है जो मैं I was explaining to my Lord।
Yes, वो सर्टिफिकेट आना चाहिए 12 तक।
My Lord, वो 13 को आता है, वो 13 को दिया जाता है, बिकॉज वो सर्टिफिकेट दिखा के आप कॉमन इलेक्शन सिंबल लेंगे या आपको इंडिपेंडेंट सिंबल मिलेगा, नॉट ऑन 12 को द फाइनल कैंडिडेट्स लिस्ट वाज फाइनलाइज्ड।
रिवाइज्ड लिस्ट 12 को होती है
जी, तो 13 को द नेक्स्ट डे यू गो विद योर पार्टी एफिलिएशन सर्टिफिकेट एंड यू then see the relevant symbol।
13 को आप सिंबल्स देते हैं
जी,
या तो वो सिंबल देते हैं जो पार्टी को दियो, अगर पार्टी को ना मिला हो क्या आप कैंडिडेट को डिप्राइव कर सकते हैं एक सिंबल से?
My Lord, the candidate applies for these। Let me take my Lord to the record।
As per your own order in para 10, you have written, notwithstanding the affiliation of the petitioner with the PTI and alleged party ticket, including entries of party affiliation, they cannot be given the symbol of the party in view of the judgments of the court. You have said so yourself here, that because the party cannot be given the symbol, therefore they cannot show themselves as affiliated to that party, and you have made them independent candidates.
I will answer this by taking my leadership to the record.
Be prepared for dinner tonight. We'll take a short break and reconvene at 3 o'clock.